Jagannath Mishra said, "In my heart I do not know whether this son will stay home. Lord Krishna gave me a son, then Lord Krishna took him away. Whatever Lord Krishna Chandra wishes will certainly be. Independent of you, the individual soul has not even a half mustard seed worth of power. O Lord Krishna, I dedicate my body and senses to you. I take shelter of you." With this knowledge of Jnana Yoga, little by little, saintly Jagannath Mishra became peaceful and steady in his thoughts. In this way, Vishwarup left home. His form is not different from the form of Lord Nityananda. Whoever hears this description of Lord Vishwarup's sannyas attains Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to Lord Krishna. For him, the noose of karma is cut. When they heard of Vishwarup's sannyas, the devotees felt both joy and sorrow at every moment. They said, "Lord Krishna has taken from us a person who always spoke Krishna Katha, topics of Krishna. We should not stay here. We should go to the forest. Then we will not see the faces of these sinners. How many flames of the offender's words must we tolerate? Everyone's addicted to the path of sin. We do not hear holy names like Krishna on anyone's mouth. Drowning in material pleasures, the whole world is on the verge of death. If someone preaches the path that leads to Lord Krishna, no one accepts his words. The people misunderstand him, try to refute him, mock him. They tell him, 'How have you become happy to worship Krishna? Only after begging do you eat. Your suffering always increases.' Deciding that it was not right to stay among such people, the devotees declared, 'We must go to the forest,' and then sighed. Saintly Advaita comforted everyone. He said, 'You will all attain the highest bliss. That is certain. In my heart I feel great bliss. I think in this way. Lord Krishna Chandra is now manifest in this world. Everyone happily chant, Krishna. In a few days we will see Krishna here. Then Lord Krishna will enjoy pastimes with all of you. This Advaita will become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Then all you servants of the Lord will attain a great mercy that even Sukadeva and Prahlad could not attain." Hearing Advaita's nectar words, all the devotees blissfully called out, "Hari!" All the devotees loudly called out, "Hari!" Their hearts were filled with bliss. As he was playing with the other boys, Lord Chaitanya heard these calls of Hari, and the Lord went to Advaita's home. "Why have you come, child?" the devotees asked. The Lord replied, "Why did you call for me?" After speaking these words, the Lord ran off with the other boys. Bewildered by the Lord's Yogamaya potency, no one could understand what had happened. After Vishwarup left home, the Lord became a little more peaceful and serious. Now he always stayed near his father and mother. In this way he made them forget their grief. Renouncing playing, he diligently studied. He would not leave his books for even a half a moment. He memorized sutras by reading them once and defeated everyone in debate. Seeing his wonderful intelligence, everyone praised him. Everyone said, "His father and mother are fortunate to have someone like him in their family." Everyone happily told Jagannath Mishra, "Oh, Jagannath Mishra, you're fortunate to have such a son. There is not an intelligent boy like him in the three worlds. In learning, he will someday defeat even Brihaspati. He debates any point he hears, and once he presents his arguments, no one can defeat him." Hearing of her son's virtues, Mother Sachi became happy. Then a great anxiety entered Jagannath Mishra's heart. Jagannath Mishra told Sachi, "This son will not stay at home." By studying all the scriptures, Vishwarup learned, the material world does not possess even a single sesame seed worth of reality. Understanding the meaning of all the scriptures, Vishwarup became very grave and serious. He renounced the temporary material world. If he becomes learned in all the scriptures, Vishwambara will renounce material happiness and leave us. This son is our entire life. If we cannot see him, we will die. Therefore, he should not study. Let Nimai stay at home. Let him be an uneducated fool." Sachi said, If he's uneducated, how will he earn a livelihood? No one will give their daughter in marriage to such a fool. Jagannath Mishra replied, You are an unintelligent daughter of a Brahmin. Lord Krishna is creator, the maintainer and destroyer. He protects and maintains every living being. He's the master of the universe. He maintains the entire universe. Why then do you say our son will earn his livelihood by being learned? A man may be a pandit or a fool. If Lord Krishna writes in a man's destiny that a certain girl will marry him, then that will happen. Honorable family, good education, and all other like things are less important. Important thing is that Lord Krishna maintains everyone. Lord Krishna has all power. Why don't you look at me standing before you? I am learned. Why is there no rice in my house? There are persons who cannot read a single letter of the alphabet. Still, if you go to their doorstep, you will see thousands of pandits loitering there. Therefore, no one earns his livelihood by learning in any other way. It is only Lord Krishna who maintains and protects everyone. Therefore, in the scriptures it is said, How can a person who does not worship Lord Krishna's feet attain a trouble-free life and a happy death? Therefore, a person who serves Lord Krishna will have a life without troubles and a happy death. A person who has only wealth or learning will not attain these two boons. A person may have great learning, noble family, and wealth millions and millions of times over, but if he does not have Lord Krishna's mercy, he will not be free of sufferings. A person may have many material pleasures in his home. Still, Lord Krishna may give him a terrible disease. That person cannot enjoy anything. He burns with pain and then he dies. I say that no one suffers more than he. Understanding this, Lord Krishna's will is important. Nothing else matters. Please don't worry about your son, I tell you. Lord Krishna will maintain your son. For as long as there is breath in my body, not a sesame seed's worth of suffering will touch our son. Lord Krishna is our protector. Why do you worry? You're a good mother and a chaste wife. Therefore I tell you, our son will not study. Let him be uneducated. Then he will stay at home. After speaking these words, Jagannath Mishra called for his son. Jagannath Mishra said, Son, please listen to my words. From this day on you will not study. You may do other things. This I promise you. Son, I will give you whatever you wish. Happily stay at home. After speaking these words, Jagannath Mishra left on some other business. Lord Vrndavana no longer studied. Lord Chaitanya, who is eternal religious principle personified, did not disobey his father's words. He did not study. Unhappy at heart that his studies were broken, the Lord again became a troublesome and mischievous boy in the company of other boys. Whether in his home or in the homes of others, the Lord broke or harmed whatever he touched. At night, the Lord did not stay at home. The whole night he played with other boys. Covering themselves with a blanket, the Lord and two other boys made themselves look like a bull. In this way they playfully wandered here and there. One day they saw a banana garden at someone's house. When night came, they put on the bull costume and then attacked the banana trees. Thinking the boys were a bull, the owner of the house called out, Hi, hi! The owner of the house now awake, the boys fled. Sometimes the Lord would fasten house doors from the outside. Thus the person inside could not leave, even to pass stool or urine. When the person inside the house called out, Hi, hi, who locked the door? The Lord fled. In this way, he who is the master of the 30 million demigods played with some boys day and night. Although Lord Vishwambar was always involved in this kind of mischief, Jagannath Mishra never spoke a word about it. One day, Jagannath Mishra went out on some business. The Lord was angry in his heart because he was not allowed to study. The Lord took his seat on some pots rejected after the offering of food to Lord Vishnu. With a single heart, please listen to this confidential story. By hearing this story, one attains the perfection of devotional service to Lord Krishna. When he made his throne on these rejected pots, a smile came to Lord Chaitanya's mouth. His fair limbs anointed with black soot, the Lord looked like a golden deity anointed with black fragrances. Learning of this, the boys went to Sachi and said, Nimai has taken his seat on some pots." When she saw him, Mother Sachi said, "Hi, hi," she said. "Son, this is not the right place to sit. Anyone who touches rejected pots must bathe. Knowledge of this has not taken its birth in you today." The Lord replied, "You will not allow me to study. How will an uneducated Brahmin like me know what is right and what is not? I'm uneducated. I do not know the difference between right and wrong. To me, everything is one. I am perfect in knowledge of non-duality." After speaking these words, the Lord smiled from his seat of rejected pots. The Lord was then in the mood of Dattatreya. His mother said, "You're sitting in a very contaminated place. How will you be purified?" The Lord replied, "Mother, you have the ideas of a tiny child. The place where I stay is never contaminated. Wherever I stay is most pure and sacred. The Ganga and all holy places stay there. Pure and impure exist only in imagination. How can the Creator be at fault in any way? This I know in my heart. Let us assume that something is impure according to the Vedas and according to custom. If I touch it, how will it remain impure? These pots are not contaminated at all. After all, you use them to cook for Lord Vishnu. Pots used to cook for Lord Vishnu are never contaminated. Indeed, the touch of these pots is very purifying. No place where I stay is ever contaminated. Indeed, everything is purified by my touch." In the mood of the child, the Lord spoke these words and then laughed. Still, his mother could not understand any of it, for she was under the spell of Yogamaya. Hearing these boys' words, everyone laughed, and Sachi said, "Come, take your bath." The Lord would not come. He stayed. Sachi said, "Come down at once before your father learns of this." The Lord said, "If you do not allow me to study, I will not come down. I tell you that." Then everyone rebuked Mother Sachi. They said, "Why do you not allow him to study? Others struggle to get their sons to study. How fortunate you are. Your son likes to study. Who is the enemy that gave you the idea to force your son to stay home, an uneducated fool?" "This boy does not possess even a half sesame seed of fault," everyone said. "Child Nimai, if from today you're not allowed to study, then you should do as much mischief as you wish." The Lord would not come down. He stayed there and smiled. All the pious people floated in an ocean of bliss. Mother Sachi personally picked him up and carried him down. Lord Chaitanya simply smiled. He was splendid like a sapphire. Accepting the mood of Dattatreya, the Lord spoke a certain truth. By the power of Yogamaya, no one understood what he said. Saintly Sachi bathed her son. Eventually, saintly Jagannath Misra returned home. Sachi described everything to Jagannath Misra. She said, "Our son is unhappy. At heart, he cannot study." Everyone said to him, "O Jagannath Misra, you're a generous person. On whose advice did you forbid your son to study?" "What Lord Krishna Chandra arranges will certainly come true. Don't worry. Let your son study." What Lord Krishna arranges, yes. You are fortunate. Your son wishes to study. On an auspicious day, give him the sacred thread and resume his studies. Jagannath Mitra said, "You are my best friends. What you say, I must say also." When they saw the Lord's extraordinary activities, everyone became filled with wonder. Still, no one could understand the real truth about them. Sometimes great saints would visit, and they would say to Jagannath Mishra, "This boy is not a resident of the material world. Carefully protect him with all your heart." Concealing his true identity, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed many pastimes in his own home. Then, by his father's order, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happily resumed his studies. The two moons, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, are my life and soul. I, Vrndavana Das, sing the glories of their feet.